Right now on ABC 10 News at 4, history is made today after a bill signing to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And back here at home in San Diego, a flex alert goes into effect this afternoon to try and conserve energy during this June heat wave. Plus, it is a major day for San Diego sports. We are live at the U.S. Open, where the world's best golfers are taking on Torrey Pines. And the Padres are gearing up for that full crowd for the first time in almost 2 years at Petco Park. But first,
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
in just the last 2 hours, Cal OSHA approved new workplace rules for COVID. The standards now allow employers to relax restrictions for vaccinated employees. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve Atkinson. This move is now more in line with how the general public has been operating since Tuesday, when the state lifted mask and social distancing rules in most settings. The revised workplace rules say that employers must document an employee's vaccination status, but they have the choice to either require proof of vaccination or allow employees to self-report.
Now, employers can fulfill their duty simply by having their employees tell them their vaccination status and then record it and then keep that record confidential.
Those employers can also continue to require everyone to wear a mask regardless of their vaccination status. Employees also have the choice to continue wearing masks without facing retaliation. Also today, big day. History has been made with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. This move by Congress comes as lawmakers weigh two separate voting rights proposals. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on the new holiday with a ton of history.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, Congress approving a new federal holiday, Juneteenth or June 19th, the day African Americans have recognized as the end of slavery in the U.S., soon to be commemorated as a national holiday in all 50 states. President Joe Biden, back from his first overseas diplomatic trip, signing the legislation into law.
I'm especially pleased that we showed the nation that we can come together as Democrats and Republicans to commemorate this day with an overwhelming bipartisan support of the Congress.
The bill received overwhelming bipartisan support in the House after passing through the Senate, a vote of 415 to 14. Bill sponsor and Texas Democrat Sheila Jackson Lee bringing down the gavel. Juneteenth was first celebrated in Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865, after federal troops took control of the state, and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, freeing African Americans from slavery. The Juneteenth federal law coming as lawmakers grapple with two separate voting rights proposals that would protect all citizens.
This is an all-out assault. An all-out assault. I mean, it's just really hard to understand how they could cook up so many various ways to come at a person's right to vote, but they did.
Well, as the majority leader said, the voting rights bill is intact. The law extends well into the future.
Do we have a lot more to do? Oh yeah. Are we where we're supposed to be? Not yet. But that was the day when we started to be who we really could be.
And as for the Juneteenth holiday, the Office of Personnel Management tweeting most federal employees will observe the holiday Friday, June 18th. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, San Bernardino County, California.
The first flex alert of the year goes into effect here in just 1 hour. The heat is putting a strain on our power grid, and state emergency leaders say this is needed to prevent rolling outages. We have team coverage this afternoon. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco is live at Waterfront Park, where we just learned that flex alert has now been extended into tomorrow. Rachel.
That's right. Hi, Steve. It is much cooler here than in many parts of the county all day. People have been out here enjoying the water park, and state emergency leaders say this is the right idea rather than staying inside with your air conditioning on high. Waterfront Park downtown provides the perfect escape from this week's heat wave. Ashley Liebler's children can splash in the fountains while she enjoys the cool breeze from the Embarcadero.
We live in Chula Vista, so it's really hot down there, so we just want to cool down. enjoy the weather.
Unusually warm temperatures are dragging into their 5th consecutive day. Cooler weather not expected until next week. Emergency officials with the California Independent Operator System are keeping a close eye on the state's electric grid. They're asking people to conserve energy from 5 until 10 Thursday night.
I work during the day, but when I'm home, I try not to run it too much during the day and then open the windows at night, but some days you can't avoid it, and this is one of those days that we needed it a lot.
The ISO says so far the power grid is stable and there is no anticipation of rotating power outages.
All of us can be a part of keeping Californians safe and keeping the electricity on if we stay conscious, we stay aware, we stay alert over the coming days.
Last August, there were rolling outages for 2 days during intense heat.
Nobody can come in. The lights are out.
You can see shoppers caught off guard when the lights went out at a Poway grocery store. This is the first Flex Alert issued this year, and summer is still days away.
It's a lot earlier than I think maybe before. It started a little in August, late August, so it's a little earlier than normal, but yeah, definitely not looking forward to the summer.
This Spring Valley Community Center is one of several cool zones now open primarily in the East County. Here's some ways you can help reduce energy use. Set your thermostat to 78 or higher. Avoid using major appliances. Turn off unnecessary lights. Use fans and unplug appliances that you're not using. Again, the Flex Alert was just extended. It'll again be issued tomorrow, but from 6 until 9 tomorrow night. Reporting live along the Embarcadero, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Rachel, thank you. As we continue our team coverage with our meteorologist, Angelica Campos. Angelica, I think that lady said it best. It's happening earlier now than what we're used to.
That's right, Steve. Typically in the month of June, we're holding on to the marine layer as long as possible so we can enjoy cooler conditions. But today we had a little bit of both. We had the marine layer and we also have a heat wave. The marine layer is only helping those of you right along the coastline, but as you travel east, it was actually warmer today in comparison to yesterday. Temperatures went up between 4 and 5 degrees in our inland communities. Right now we're in the 90s in Ramona, 87 in Escondido, 73 in Vista, much better along the coast with 66 degrees in Del Mar. We do have higher humidity levels, so what that is going to do is keep the nights uncomfortable. As you heard earlier, some people count on opening the windows to get a bit of a break in the overnight hours, but when it's humid, it's a different story. Coming up, I'll show you the excessive heat warnings that have now been extended.
Angelica, thank you. All right, one of the big events happening right now at Torrey Pines, the U.S. Open. It is back for the first time since 2008. The world's best golfers are in town, including 2 homegrown stars at very different points in their careers. Phil Mickelson is looking to become the oldest U.S. Open winner ever after becoming the oldest golfer to win a major just last month. And former Aztec Xander Schauffele is looking for his first ever major title. Play got started a little late today after a 90-minute fog delay. Joining us live from Torrey Pines is our ABC 10 News Sports Director, Ben Higgins. Ben, this is a big event for the golfers, but also a huge event for our local golf industry.
Absolutely, and Schauffele very much in contention, Steve, after a 2-under 69 today. The leaders are at 4 under. Phil has some work to do after a 4 over 75, but it's already been a banner year for Mickelson, and one local golf company is really enjoying his success at a U.S. Open in their very own backyard.
Club makers at Callaway Golf are hard at work, ready to capitalize for what they hope is a surge in sales thanks to the U.S. Open. It doesn't hurt that Callaway's most visible ambassador is San Diego's Phil Mickelson, who's coming off his historic win at last month's PGA Championship.
People associate Callaway with Phil, and we're very lucky to have him on board.
In his 8 years at Callaway, Jeff Newton has seen it firsthand, the way Phil moves the needle for golfers of all ages and levels of experience.
Of course, he's one of the greats of all time, but he really wants to make the game welcoming and inviting for everybody who participates, everybody that he interacts with, and so he is just couldn't ask for anybody to be representing Callaway better than Phil.
The relationship is much deeper than a few TV commercials. The Callaway Performance Center is also Mickelson's golf laboratory.
He's very involved. He loves being a tinker. He loves working on equipment. So he's always giving us ideas. He's always working on stuff.
And when you combine that Mickelson star power with the attention of a golf major, it's a winning combination for Callaway.
it definitely gets people excited and into fitting bays, getting onto our website, checking out what he's playing, whether it's his driver, his ball, or his putter, and that's the type of visibility that you're always looking for and dreaming about. And when you can have a scenario like he did on Sunday and winning that event, that's, again, you can't really ask for anything better.
Well, it's easy to see why Callaway is so happy. Fans followed Mickelson very closely today. In fact, I got within a few feet when he blocked one way to the left into the rough on the 5th hole. Phil, though, going to need a pretty decent round tomorrow to make the cut for the weekend. We'll have more on his day coming up on ABC 10 News at 5. Live from the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines, I'm Ben Higgins, ABC 10 News.
Let's hope he can make up that ground. Ben, thank you. And it is officially opening day, take two. The Padres are welcoming back fans to the stadium, this time at full capacity. Sky 10 is over the ballpark as fans start to arrive there today. Those empty seats expected to be filled tonight. And our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live at Petco Park. We're about an hour and a half away from the game right now. Mimi?
Hi, Steve. The gates just opened a little more than half an hour ago, and people are starting to trickle in, but the game doesn't actually begin until about 5:40, so we still have a bit of time. But full capacity, Steve, means tens of thousands finally allowed back inside, and fans could not be more excited to be surrounded by others once again.
For me, it's going to be awesome. The more, the better.
It's officially San Diego's opening day at Petco Park. The Padres celebrating the return to 100% capacity, something they haven't seen since 2019. And the Friar faithful are ready.
Now we're going to be able to cheer for our team and be louder.
The more, the merrier. It's going to be great to see the stands packed.
Inside of the park, every seat can now be filled, but there are some things you need to know before you go. Outside food and beverages will not be permitted. Bags are prohibited with the exception of single compartment bags that are 7 by 10 inches or smaller. Infant or medical bags will be allowed. Sealed plastic water bottles are also allowed. For fully vaccinated people, you can ditch the mask. Those unvaccinated are asked to continue wearing one. Cleaning and sanitation protocols are still in place. A Petco Park clean team is disinfecting high-touch areas throughout the ballpark. UV light sanitizing equipment has been installed on escalator railings, and in between games, the park is deep cleaned. More than 250 hand sanitizing stations have also been added throughout the park. Ernest Mitchell, a season ticket holder who's been coming to the limited capacity games, is ready to see more people fill those seats as the Padres get back to normal.
It still had a home feel to it, but it was more of like it's just kind of hanging out with a couple of friends instead of like the roar of the crowd and, you know, the wave and just the whole feel and the vibe and the atmosphere of just kind of like, yeah.